everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. This video is a little bit different from my usual chop and chats. This is a Teddy Bees only chop and chat. And why I'm doing this is after getting the last pre-order a couple of weeks ago from Teddy Bees, I decided I have to make a dent in my collection. And the only way to do that, really, the way that I melt, is to just make a theme, stick with it, and then try to make a dent. So I have a great many soufflés, tubs, and a loaf here to chop up for you guys. Starting May 1st, I'm going to be just working on 95% Teddy Bees. I do have some blends from other vendors that I'll always have in my home, like L3 and some Sassy Girl and stuff. But primarily, I want to enjoy this Teddy Bees because it's all wonderful, and I want to use it because, you know, I'm trying to organize deeply in my home. I am going to go downstairs in my downstairs storage and work through that this coming week. My husband's going away to a conference, so I can, you know, just be with me and Poppy in the basement. So Poppy is here with me now. I have the tote, and I'm going to put all of the things I chop in up here, and she's playing in it now. So if you hear her collar, her bell floating around, and I set my camera setting up higher so you can see everything here. I feel like if I have it down, if I move it down like this, I think that's a little bit too close, but maybe I'll switch back and forth. It just depends. I think, Poppy, get down, honey. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. You can't be up here. Get down. Thank you. Okay. So, excuse me. Real life here. So if I have it down here close, maybe I'll leave it down here because last time I filmed it, it was up high. And let me know which one you guys prefer, whether it's back further like this or like this. So I think for right now, I think we'll do it like this. Yeah, we'll try to do that. Okay. So I'm not a professional photographer. I'm just doing this for fun. So, okay. Also, if I have to stop abruptly, my husband is golfing and it's kind of rainy outside. So if he calls me, then I hear the garage door open, I'm going to have to stop abruptly. So I'll try my best to get through as much as I can. So, okay, here we go. Teddy Bees, owned by Tiffany Smith from Houston, Texas. Been in business since 2018, one of my top vendors. So in no particular order, I went through my collection after I filmed my haul and everything, and I made my ready to ship order last week. I have like 10 tubs coming, I think. Yeah, I know. I need to make a dent. So let's go ahead and just start. A couple of these are from this past pre-order. And I did say in my video, I really don't chop up new stuff that I receive, but I am actually going to break myself of that, and I'm going to go for it because Teddy Bees just... it makes me too happy to not to not allow myself that joy that Teddy Bees brings me. So I'm going for it. I hope that might be silly to some of you, but I hope it makes sense. I mean, you know, what I'm trying to say. So the first one I want to talk about here is Country Christmas. I do have some fall, some winter, kind of a little bit of the whole entire year in terms of a type of scent or niche of scent. Poppy is playing in the background too, so if you hear rustling around, when Mama's talking, she gets jealous and she likes to get into stuff. So just letting you know, life of a cat. Country Christmas. This is balsam fir, butter cookies, sweet spruce, and a hint of cinnamon and clove. So this one was poured back on October 27th of last year. So in the 3+ years I've been into vendor wax, this is cute color here. I usually restrict myself to melting fall in the fall because I love fall, and I really very easily could go overboard with melting fall all year round, and I don't want to burn myself out on it ultimately. So how I chop Teddy Bees, y'all know if you've watched me before. I'm just going to go for it. This scent here, I specifically chose to chop this one. I have a few other Christmas ones in here because sometimes I just like a little bit of Christmas, you know, throughout the year. Christmas is such a time that, you know, a lot of us, I'm going to chop these. Yeah, I'm chop these in 8 pieces here. Christmas is such a time of joy for a lot of us, and, you know, Christmas also comes with its pain because of, you know, losing loved ones throughout our lives, and You know, sometimes, you know, home lives growing up and such, myself included in that last category. I like to sometimes just melt a wintry smell to make me think about Christmas time, and you know, those good memories that we have most of the time when it comes to Christmas. You know, Santa Claus and reindeer, snowmen, cookies, baking, Christmas trees, all the fun smells, all those things like that. So I don't want to deprive myself of that throughout the year. So that's why I have a Christmas blend here, and I didn't put this in a particular order when I took these out of my tote, but we're just gonna go with it. I don't have anything up on here on top that's outright Christmas, but I do know there's some more in here. The next one I want to talk about here is Sophisticated Confectionery. This is one from last June 30th was poured. This is creamy butterscotch. I hope you guys can all see this. The other reason why I want to have it up down lower so you can see the notes on here if you happen to pause it and look at it. This is creamy butterscotch. No, Poppy. Back up. Creamy butterscotch, oak barrel aged notes of bourbon, warm vanilla sugar, and frothy vanilla foam. So this one here I had to get because I love butterscotch. Butterscotch can be very sharp and kind of stinky if it's not blended very meticulously, in my opinion. This one is fantastic. There are some butterscotch blends out there that's a little bit too rough for me to melt alone, so I have to blend it down with something. But this one here, I'll tell you, just opening up this bag here, if you are one that actually has this blend, or if you've warmed this blend, you'll know what I mean. It's done very well. That vanilla balances out the butterscotch. That little bit of bourbon is added in there for a little bit of acidity, but also a smoothness too, if that makes sense. I think so. So we're going to chop this one down. I am a little bit over the center, but hey, that's okay. My husband and I went out for our Sunday date. Sometimes we go out on Saturdays, but most of the time we go out on Sundays. We go to lunch. We've been going to lunch because the breakfast places that we really like closed down. And I'm not a huge breakfast person. I know I'm like the only person in the world that isn't in love with breakfast foods. If we go to breakfast, that's fine. But I actually prefer to go to lunch because we can sleep a little bit on Sunday mornings. And my husband is a data analyst, and he is working on he's programming something. I honestly don't even know everything that he does, to tell you the truth. He was up till 5:30 this morning working on it because he has to do it when there aren't any users, and so the traffic is considerably less in the nighttime. So he was up till 5:30. So yeah, we weren't going to breakfast today, but we went to Sam's Club and had to get some paper towels, and I wanted to get some chicken breast and then just some other stuff that I really didn't need, but I got. So you know how Costco and Sam's goes. Next one I want to chop up here is Blackberry Boardwalk. Now this one here is beach treats, lavender, blackberries, and plumeria. I love that Tiffany chose to put plumeria in here. Plumeria, of course, being a really beautiful Hawaiian strong tropical flower. I love plumeria. When we went to Hawaii, to Maui, they have plumeria there and hibiscus, and it's just gorgeous. The beach treats in here and the lavender and blackberry, I love beach nights and blackberry. A lot of you out there will know the famous blend from Sassy Girl, Montego Bay. So that's blackberry and beach nights. So I grabbed this because I thought, okay, Tiffany's adding a little bit of floral to it and a little bit of lavender. So blackberry is already floral, especially since if you've ever had blackberry perfume, blackberries, raspberries, they just pull a little bit more floral, so it's easy to perfume them up, if that makes sense. So her beach treats is beautiful in this. I'm smelling the tin right now as I'm talking. The plumeria is beautiful. It's not too strong. You can smell that lavender, you can smell the blackberry, and that beach treats is there in the background. So I actually had a tub of this, and I destashed it because at the time I wasn't quite sure if I was in love with the blackberry, but I got rid of my tub and I kept the souffle because I thought, you know, if I'm in love with it, then I'll just have to request it, and hopefully she and other people vote for it to come back. But I know this is one that is well loved by those of you that have tried it. I'm you know, like I talked in my Teddy Bees haul video last week, I'm very meticulous with making Teddy Bees orders, unless it's an RTS, then you just have to go. With my pre-orders, I take my time. I do submit my order on the last minute I can. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Like I don't submit them right when the sale goes live. So that's just how I choose to do my Teddy Bees stuff, because Tiffany has such good quality products with the price tag to go along with it. So to make my budget work for me and to be able to get more cents for my dollar, I don't want to just emotionally buy, if you know what I mean. I mean, a lot of us could probably buy one of everything if you think about it, especially if you're a warmer like me, where I'm not really discriminating towards a lot of blends that I melt in my home. There's only a handful of scent notes that I don't like, those being grapefruit, mango, papaya. They take on BO and vomity scent to me. Lime, my husband doesn't really care for, but I'm trying to get him into lime blends that he likes. So so that becomes problematic sometimes, because then you want to buy one of everything. And sometimes I've bought a lot of what's on a list. So with Teddy Bees, I try to be a little bit more smart with my purchases. Sometimes I black out, like I did a few years ago. Last winter, actually, when we were at a basketball game. I'm always at basketball games, it seems like, making pre-orders, but basketball season's over for now. The next one here is Lady Laina. This is vanilla birch, cashmere plum, beach treats, and a hint of Palo Santo, poured in July 27, 23. So I got this one here because I absolutely love Tiffany's plum blends. Plum is another one that takes on such femininity, it's a beautiful fragrance. It's perfumey. It has a little hint of floral to it. This plum does, at least. But plum is beautiful stone fruit that I absolutely adore. And this one here, you can see the oils just glistening on the surface there. This one is beautiful. I can smell it, wafting up from my cutting board here. So this one here, I really get a beautiful mixture of the cashmere plum, the vanilla birch. I'm getting the beach treats, and I'm getting a little bit of Palo Santo, a little bit of that sultriness there. So I like this one. I wasn't going to chop this one up, but I thought, this is a good spring summer scent, and Lady Laina needs to have love too, whoever she is. I don't know if it's a character. It's probably a character from a show. I don't know if it's Game of Thrones or Vikings, or I know Tiffany likes all those shows, but I haven't seen either of them, honestly. We're going to watch Game of Thrones. But golf season's here, and like today, we got home, and, he was home for 20 minutes or so, and then went off with his golfing buddy golfing. So, he has several buddies he golfs with, but this one is his favorite guy. They're pretty competitive together here. So, I also golf too, but I'm not anywhere any good. I understand the game. I've known golf since I was a little kid. One of my aunts and uncle, they golfed together, and they taught me golf, and I went to the golf course with them, and all sorts of things. So I love golf. I know golf is boring to a lot of people, but I enjoy it. This next one here is Witches Be Crazy for Pistachio. This, of course, is my favorite bakery blend of all vendors ever. This is birthday cake, pumpkin pecan waffles, sugar cookie dough, a pinch of cinnamon spice vanilla, blended with pistachio ice cream and notes of pistachio dream cake, poured on 11/1/23. So Witches Be Crazy, of course, is one of Tiffany's, in my opinion, best bakery blends. And she has a mess of blends with Witches Be Crazy, and I buy most of them. This one here, I wasn't really crazy about the experience I've had with some of Tiffany's pistachio, but I took a chance with this one, and this one is a very creamy blend. The pistachio is a true creamy, nutty pistachio, but it has a little bit of that pistachio dream cake to it, which does have a little bit of that almond cherry note that some of your noses pick up. I get just straight almond. but I know the noses pick up cherry with some pistachio. So this one here is creamy. That pistachio ice cream, if it's the same oil that I'm thinking, it's a Bath & Body Works dupe. So it's very creamy. It's got a little bit, it's kind of similar to pistachio pudding, you know, like the Jello pistachio pudding that I love and I've had all my life, but just a little bit creamier than that, actually. And the Witches Be Crazy in here is there. It's creamy, it's luscious, it's fattening, it's fantastic. That is Witches Be Crazy to me. So my husband has a conference this week, I call it a dork conference, but it's a data conference up in Salt Lake. There's a data, I don't really even know exactly what type of company it is, but the company is called Qualtrics, and they're pretty big. The guy who created Qualtrics, his name is Ryan Smith. He actually owns the Utah Jazz. If you know anything about hockey, they just bought the Arizona, I don't remember what their team name was, but we have an NHL team now here in Salt Lake, and Ryan Smith bought that. So Qualtrics has a conference every year. My husband goes to it most every year. I don't think he went last year, but I don't remember. So he's going to be going to that this week. Next is Old Country Store. This is sweet peach preserves, hot apple pies, warm cinnamon, and a slight hint of pine. This one was poured on October 13th. That's our anniversary. October 13th. So this one here, I had to get this one because this is old school country store. Honestly, this is the perfect name for this. I grew up around my mom had me when she was 40. So I grew up around a lot of adults. I don't have any brothers and sisters. I don't need to say why. You can figure it out with what I just told you. But I grew up going to flea markets and country stores and craft stores, and just this, like, I love this. That's why I think my nose was developed quite early on in my life. I think, my mom, once she realized how much I was into candles and perfumes and that, vendor wax, she told me she used to experiment around herself with perfumes and, things like that when she was younger. I mean, way before I was in the world. But so maybe that's a little bit my mom and me. I don't know. But this one here smells just like it's described. I mean, it's got that. It has peach, it has apple. The apple and cinnamon is the most dominant to my nose here. Just picking up the shards. Close this bag here. I've got to get a paper towel. Pardon the interruption here. I didn't get this ready beforehand. Okay, so let's see. What shall I chat about next? We went to Sam's today, got my stuff. My husband is going to Island Park, Idaho this weekend with some of his family, and I might go too. The wives are invited. The wives are usually not invited, but the wives are invited now. So, trying to decide if my mom can, excuse me, I have to dab my nose. The trees are going nuts out here. See if my mom can watch Poppy or if I have to board her. I'm still deciding what I want to do. Okay, next one. Let's go and keep with the apple theme. This is sugared chestnuts and apple butter. This one is one I have 2 tubs of. Excuse me, a tub and a loaf. Yeah, a tub and a loaf. And I figured it's time to chop up this souffle because I have enough that I feel comfortable that I can use it. I'm trying to get out of that mentality too. So this one here was actually on 2 pre-orders in a row because it was so popular. This is apple butter, brown sugar, toasted chestnuts, clove, and notes of spice, poured on October 23rd of last year. So this one here is a beautiful color. I like the brown theme. And this one here is a very creamy, kind extremely rich apple butter. That's how I can best describe this. It's blended a little bit gently with that chestnut. I get a little bit of the sweetness of the brown sugar, just a little bit of spice. You know, you have your cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. Not too bad. I love this. As I'm chopping this, I smell it wafting up. I always like to say that because then that tells me and you that this is going to be a nice performer. At least that's my experience when chopping. And you know, I chopped up some wax last week and I didn't film it. And I told my husband, this is so weird because I haven't chopped wax that I wasn't filming in a long time. So I wanted to get some stuff chopped up that I was trying out to see my opinion on it for somebody. So I did that, and then yeah. Oh, I should have put that in the bag there with it, but that's okay. It can go out. So I might go to Island Park. I've never been there. It's 23 or 25 minutes from West Yellowstone. So we'll have to see if I'm going to go to Yellowstone this weekend or not. I'm not sure. I've been to Yellowstone before. Back when I first met my husband 13 years ago. This month. This past week actually was 13 years. He had a conference. He worked in forensics before when we lived in the East. That's his education is in forensics. Next scent I'm going to do here is Sweet Halloween. This is candy corn, vanilla cupcakes, and sweet vanilla frosting. This was from this past pre-order, poured on March 12th. So this one, I love this. It's just a heavy, sweet vanilla cupcake. I know some of you guys out there don't like this one, but this one to me just screams vanilla cupcake, which it's rare for me to like a vanilla blend. So we'll say that. My husband had a conference in forensics, and I went with him. And it was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which some of you may or may not have been there. Jackson Hole is fantastic. My parents actually lived in Idaho a long time ago, way before I was born. My dad had some engineering things to do in a facility in Idaho, and my parents lived on a potato farm for a couple of years, I think. So they've been to Jackson Hole. So when I went up there, it's really fascinating. So Jackson Hole isn't that far from Yellowstone. So what we did was we flew here to Utah. We didn't live here, of course. Saw his mom, because my husband is from Utah. Saw his mom for a few days, and then she drove us up to Wyoming just to spend time with us and such. And then she decided that she wanted to take me to Yellowstone. So when the conference started, and my husband was busy throughout the day, my mother-in-law took me to Yellowstone. And we did one day, and it's some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. My favorite part, I had a couple favorite parts. I will say, above all, the wildlife that you see. Of course, there's no guarantee, but we had really close, when I say close encounter, I don't mean in a bad way, just really close, beautiful moose. Just this family of moose were drinking water and eating right on the side of a road. And we were literally like 6 feet away from this family of moose. And it was just, you know, you had to be there, because this wildlife is just, we're in their home, and they don't care about roads, they don't care about whatever. And in Hayden Valley, especially shows that you guys have seen on Discovery Channel or Animal Planet, Hayden Valley is where all the buffalo like to live. The buffalo are there, and the coyotes are there, and the buffalo are just massive. And of course, you know, sometimes traffic can be stopped for a long time because the herd of buffaloes crossing the road. And, you know, yes, there are people that get out of their car and they try to get good pictures, and some of them get in trouble and hurt and all those things there. So the buffalo weren't crossing the road when we went through Hayden Valley. But the buffalo was definitely, because I've never seen a buffalo up to that point in my life. The buffalo in Hayden Valley, the moose, and then the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Well, I shouldn't say that, because I've seen some beautiful things living here in Utah. But in Yellowstone, the park is named Yellowstone because it has Yellowstone in the park. And it's escaping me right now why the stone is yellow. It's a mineral, but I don't remember which one, or an element or something. But Yellowstone Falls. You have to park. It's parking and hiking everywhere you go. And this next one I'm going to do here is Kiss Me Goodnight. This is cozy cashmere blankets, warm, slightly woody notes mixed with vanilla, hints of plum, and hot tea with warm amber. This is definitely part of her sensual line and part of her cashmere line. And this one, I wasn't sure I wanted to get it, but when Tiffany was hyping it up during the pre-order, I thought, you know, it's worth a souffle. So I decided to get this one here. I'm going back and forth with my storytelling and my chopping, so hope you don't mind that. This smells just, this is definitely, in my opinion, a bedtime scent, a nighttime scent, relaxing, spa time, me time, self-care time, bath time, shower time. You know, it's cozy, it's comforting. This could definitely be also a winter scent too. It has that cashmere blanket or warm fuzzy blanket vibe to it. But I like this one here. This will be a bedroom scent for me. So what was I saying? Oh, Yellowstone Falls. You have to hike and park just about everywhere you go. I mean, some of the stuff is accessible, like the most famous attraction there, of course, is Old Faithful, which was the first thing that we saw when we got to the park. Old Faithful, it's something to see. Tons of people that are there around that attraction. That's one of the main ones. But you have to hike and park to a lot. Park and hike, excuse me, to a lot of these things. So we hiked up to this place. Don't ask me where in the park. I don't remember. But it's you're kind of far back and you look in a distance and it looks like a painting. It really looks like a painting. You just Google Yellowstone Falls, and the picture that you're seeing there, unless it's up close, you know, the guys that can get up close and the photographers and such, that's what I saw. And to see it and to just be like, man, this is our planet. This is what was created for us, and this is immaculate is the only way I can describe it. Without flaw, beautiful. So Yellowstone Falls was my favorite. And then we saw the paint pots. Those are sulfur, and it looks like bubbling, I don't want to say cement, but it's thick like cement. Those are I think they're called fountain paint pots, if I'm not mistaken. This was like 12 years ago when I was there, so I'm trying my best to remember everything. But I'm very grateful that we went to Yellowstone. But I don't know if I go to Yellowstone, the reason why we're going is this is my husband's father's family, his uncle and their sons and daughters and such. My husband's learning to open up the cabin because it's a Verbo. They do rent it out for the summer, and it's booked up a long time in advance. It's a big place. My husband is learning how to do all of that to keep it in the family. So that's why we're going. And so if I am able to get to Yellowstone, I don't know what we're going to be doing. I'm not sure if I'm going to go or not. But if I do get to go, I'll definitely post some pictures and see what I can do. That's the best I can say. But if I can find someone to get Poppy, if I can't board Poppy and my mom can't watch her, then I'm not going because I can't take Poppy with me. This next one, Catacomb of the Witch. Dark plums, rich vanilla, black amber, bonfire bliss, and vanilla woods. Poured on 9/29/23. This one was a really popular one last pre-order too. And I have two of these actually. I got one in the pre-order, and then I think I got one in the, oh, there's a double, this is a double cup here. There was one in the, I got one in the pre-order, and then one in the, no, it's not a double cup. It just looks like that, the way that the lip is here. And I got one in the ready to ship. So this one, I love Tiffany's plum blends. Like I could just buy plum blends from Tiffany and be happy with that because she is really good at these complex, perfumey, sophisticated blends in my opinion. I mean, I can't get this blend anywhere else in the vendor world that I know of that I support. But right now as I'm chopping this, I'm smelling, I get the amber. I get a little bit of woodsiness. I definitely get the plum. The plum is definitely the star. I will say that. So let's see. Here's my bag. And then I've talked about my Vegas trip already in June. I don't want to talk about that again. Nothing's really changed. We still have to sit down and pinpoint our true itinerary. I mean, we've been to Vegas before, so it's not our first trip, so we're not all trying to do everything. But the main things that we're trying to figure out is we want to go to the Mob Museum. We haven't been there before, but we're thinking we might do that this time because it's something we haven't done, and it's a really good. It's really a really good one. My husband's one of his best friends' parents live in Vegas, and he likes that place when he goes there too. So we're going to do that. And we're trying to figure out if we're going to do the Sphere. The only reason why I'm hesitant to do the Sphere is because it's almost $100 a person, and I'm not sure if it's worth it, honestly. I mean, I know it's cool and stuff, and it's big, but really, that's in today's society, that's a lot. And Vegas prices are already astronomical, let alone inflated Vegas prices. We're still deciding on that. Let's see. Next one I'm going to do here, we'll stick with a plum one. This is Witching Hour. Well, not plum, but it's a plum color, I'll say. This is Midnight Jasmine, Tonka Bean, Mahogany, Black Currant, Sweet Marshmallow, and Soft Woods. This was poured on March 25th of this year. This is one I just got in this past pre-order. I got 2 of these, actually. I think I didn't mean to order 2, but I did. Maybe I'll be happy with that. I can already smell this. This is delicious smelling. I'm getting the jasmine, the tonka bean. This is similar to, I have it here to chop. Where is it? What is it? Smells like Emma of Normandy. You know, it's similar to something like that. It's strong. It's vibrant. It has that jasmine in it. It has mahogany, currant. This is just right up my alley. I love deep, rich blends like this. The Sphere, I talked about the Sphere. And my husband and I, last year, I went to see Tool. We went, actually, one of my favorite musicians, and, you know, if you are Facebook friends with me, or if you've talked to me or anything like that, or have watched my videos, you know, like, I'm a deep person. I'm a deep thinker. I'm a sensitive person also, and I look for things that touch my soul, especially in the last 5 or 6 years. And, you know, as I'm approaching 40, I'm really looking for signs in the universe that, you know, just make me feel comforted. And music is one of those tools that I use to feel that. So I've been sharing on Facebook the last few weeks about music that's really touching me. Let's chop up grown woman shit. Grown woman shit. We all have that. This is Palo Santo, Orchid, Amber, and Smoked Vanilla. This is old. This is from September 28th of 22. So I do have some older blends here I want to get chopped up. So this one here is definitely, it's a Palo Santo blend. I can smell that right out of the gate. Tiffany has a very deep Palo Santo in my opinion. And that smells really good. The smoked vanilla is there. This is similar to the North and to a lot of her Game of Thrones scents, especially the Palo Santo ones. I love this. All I need is that little piece there. Sometimes I'll probably put both of these together. The ends get a little bit, you know, get a little skinny, but that's enough of a piece for me, like that. I personally like the newer souffles over the older souffles because they stack and they store a little bit easier. I do like the thickness of I like them both, I guess. But I think for storing purposes, these newer souffles like this are my preference. But so music is something that really touches my soul. And when my husband has really introduced me to a ton of music that before I met him, had discounted. You know, I just wasn't interested in it, or I thought it wasn't for me or something. But I've really been able to, when I learned how to meditate several years ago, and to be able to get to that level of quiet in your brain, it takes practice. You know, meditation isn't something that you either do right or wrong. Meditation is specific to you and what you make of it. So when I was able to meditate and to just be, and have awareness and just sit with myself, and whatever thoughts come in my mind. I was able to reach. Next, let's do First of Her Name. This is a popular one right now. I got more of this one coming. This is whipped vanilla, citrus-infused cream, white blossoms, decadent lemon cakes, candied lime, and vanilla sugar, March 17th of this year. This is fantastic. This is such a good scent. Oh, I love this green and this white and that yellow. I love this. This just screams spring and fresh and vibrant. This is so, the lemon and the lime is beautiful together. It's got a little bit of floral to it, not much. Citrus, creamy, vanilla. Oh, it's a gorgeous blend. I love that. Anyways, back to music. When I was able to quiet my mind enough like that, I was able to hear different music on a deeper level. And that might sound silly, but if you have been able to do that in your life, you know what I mean. So I started listening to music that my husband has loved his whole life. My husband, he plays the guitar. He's played the guitar. I think he taught himself when he was 15 or 16, somewhere in that age. And he has been inspired by so many different musicians and different types of music. So I started listening to Tool, A Perfect Circle, and Pucifer. Those are the 3 projects by a musician named Maynard James Keenan. And he's not everybody's cup of tea, but Maynard is a very unique individual, a deep individual, so intelligent and so talented. And he is one of my favorite musicians. So this past week, well, let me back up a minute. So I started listening to Maynard, and I don't like all of their songs. Some of them are just too heavy for me. It depends on what you're listening to. Tool is a heavier, everybody I think knows who Tool is. That's his most popular band, followed by A Perfect Circle, which I actually like a little bit more than Tool, but I love Tool. I'm getting more into A Perfect Circle recently. And then Pucifer is more, he plays around more with sound and electronics, and he has another lady in the band named Karina Round. She is the other vocalist in the band. The next one I'm going to do here is Morning Cup of Christmas. This is vanilla chai, cranberry chutney, apple marmalade, and hint of fresh pine, poured on October 30th last year. This is a beautiful, I've chopped this one up before and melted it. I have a couple of these. This is beautiful, just a beautiful marriage of cranberry, apple, pine, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of chai spices. This is perfect. This is a sister or a cousin to Old Country Store, more apple, and the sugared apple butter and chestnuts, in my opinion. So we saw Pucifer, or Pucifer, depending how you say it, last year. And it was the best concert I've ever been to in my life. And I've seen a lot of people in my life in concert. I've seen Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. We had floor seats for him in Pittsburgh. When we lived in, boy, that was a shitty one, but hey, it is what it is. When we lived in Pittsburgh, we had a lot more access to musicians. We've seen Dave Matthews Band. I love Dave Matthews Band. I love the 90s, baby. Oh man, I love the 90s. I've seen Roger Waters, Dave Matthews Band. We've seen, oh man, Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was in several bands. Chris Cornell is no longer here with us. Gorgeous voice, gorgeous man, gorgeous everything. He was in Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and Temple the Dog. That's a band from the early 90s with Eddie Vedder. I saw him in acoustic at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. And that was just such an amazing concert. Just so intimate with his voice, his growl that he has. And just, he's such a beautiful person. You know, bless his soul. The next one I want to do here is Whipstaff Manor. This one needs no introduction. This is crisp fall air, cedar wood, crunchy leaves, hints of apples and fall spice, toasted marshmallows, and charred pumpkin. This is from July 15th of last year. This one was also on this past pre-order. So this one here is a beautiful, iconic scent for fall. You know, it's got everything you need in it to be. Oh, it's smoky. It's got that fall vibe to it. This is spooky. This is perfect for Halloween, but I'm gonna melt it now because I have another souffle and I have a tub, so I wanna use this up and enjoy it. So Chris Cornell, I've seen when I was in college. I've seen Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian. I've seen Dave Chappelle. I've seen the Decemberists. I've seen concerts I can't even remember anymore. I went to Ohio State, and it's big there. Everybody goes to Columbus just about because it's such a huge college town. There's little indie venues there. The Newport is on High Street in Columbus. I've seen so many concerts there. I used to live down the street. My apartment was down the street from there. The Decemberists I saw there, and just, you know, I've seen 311, although 311 isn't my cup of tea anymore. And I don't remember because, you know, Ohio State being such a big college, they had the funds to bring in the big guys. And every fall and every spring, they would have like it would be called the big, I don't remember what it's called now because I've been out of college for a long time. But they would have big concerts, and it would kind of be like a mini Coachella where it would be multiple days and just multiple acts on stages. And I don't know if they do that anymore. I haven't been to Columbus in a long time. Next time I go back to Pennsylvania, I've got to go to Columbus. Columbus is about 3.5 hours from where my dad lives. I've got to go back and see some of my friends. I love Columbus. So this next one is Mr. Claus. Miss Danny loves the scent. This is Cranberry Woods, Bath & Body Works type. Frosted sugar cookies, and Palo Santo. This one is pretty simple. It's just creamy Cranberry Woods. This was poured on October 29th last year. So I loved my days in Columbus. The other day I dreamed about, well, last night I actually, Yes, I talked about this in my video yesterday that I did for Second and Spruce. I talked about how my favorite restaurant where I'm from in Pennsylvania lost my mail. I had a dream that they lost my mail named Maloney's, but I just, you know, I have so many good memories of home, and I have so many good memories in Columbus. Like, I lived in Columbus for, I finished college in a little over 3 years, and I did that because I honestly didn't, being an out-of-state student, the priority for dorms is for in-state students, and they didn't have enough room for me to start when I should have. So I started in winter of 2003, and so I finished in the, Ohio State is on, no, they're not on semesters, they're on quarters, I think. I don't remember now. I started in the winter and I ended in the winter. So my last semester of college, I don't know how I did it. I took 22 credits my last semester in college, and that's when I fell down the stairs and I hurt myself and I almost broke my back, and I had a rough time. I was really trying to do it because I didn't want to go to college for a semester after all of my friends graduated and I had to go there alone, and I didn't want to do it. And looking back, I mean, I had to get special permission from the dean to do all of that shit, and should I have done it to myself? No, but I look back and I'm thinking, man, I was determined to do it. But I'm just blabbering now because trying to find stuff to talk about when I'm standing here chopping is tough sometimes. So Christmas is coming. It's coming, but not quite yet. Warm gingerbread cookies, cinnamon sugar pastries, fluffy waffles covered in powdered sugar, hints of cedar and Fraser fir, poured on October 30th last year. So this one here is so good. I have a couple of these souffles too. This is gingerbread, a little bit of waffle, a little bit of Fraser fir, a little bit of sugar, cream, waffles, all of that stuff. This is fantastic. I love this blend. This is a blend you could warm all year long. It's not necessarily Christmas, but it has that vibe, definitely. So, yeah. What else can I tell you guys about? We talked about music. Oh, music. So, this past, Maynard James Keenan turned 60 last week. And his bands, A Perfect Circle and Pussifer, along with Primus. Primus is not my cup of tea, but Les Claypool, who is the main guy in Primus, and Maynard are friends. So they decided to do a month-long concert celebrating Maynard's 60th birthday called Sensana. Santana, yeah, excuse me, Sessanta. That means 60 in Italian. And so we went this past Tuesday to Salt Lake at the Maverick Center. Maverick Center is where the minor league hockey team plays, the Utah Grizzlies. Never been to a game of theirs, but I've never been to a hockey game ever. I lived in Pittsburgh, and I've never been to a Penguins game. But we're going to go to see the Utah team. You know, they don't have a name yet, unless it was decided on today, but they're thinking of the Utah Blizzard or the Yeti. I hope it's the Blizzard, because the ZZ will match the Jazz, the basketball team. That's just me, though. But next one, Lavender Cream. This is lavender, marshmallow, and waffle cone. This was poured on March 1st of this year. This is pretty simple. Every vendor has something like this, but I love Tiffany's Lavender. It's just so smooth and relaxing. So we went to the concert on Tuesday, and up until Tuesday, Pussifer's concert last year was the best concert I've been to, of all the people I've seen, even the people I can't remember, even Dave Matthews Band, who I love Dave Matthews. I've seen him so many times in my life. I saw him a lot when I lived in the East and was in college and things. So this, I forgot to chop that down the middle, and we're going to do 5 on that one there. There we go, baby. So this was the best concert I've ever been to. It was so good. They opened, how they did it was, there's 3 bands, of course, Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and Primus. And they all took turns. They played 3 songs. Act 1, 3 songs of each band. Act 2, Act 3. So A Perfect Circle opened, and they opened with one of my favorite A Perfect Circle songs called The Package. It's off the album The 13th Step. 13th Step is an album that's about addiction and recovery, and it resonates a lot with my husband. I don't want to say too much because it's not my story to tell, but it's personal to him. So it's just the drums, the bass, just everything. It just, when there's nothing like being at a concert, in my opinion, there's nothing like being at a concert and just feeling that bass in your chest and you feel alive. I'm telling you, you feel alive. There are some people I know that have never been to a live concert, and I find that hard to believe because everybody needs to experience it at some point in their life. It just is, it takes you out of your skin a little bit, in my opinion. So just getting some more paper towels here. It's such a good concert, man. And I've been listening to Perfect Circle, and I've been listening to Pussifer this week. My favorite Pussifer song is Holiday on the Moon, or Bullet Train to Iowa, or The Remedy. Those are my favorite Pussifer songs. So next one I'm going to chop up here is Anything But Basic. Anything But Basic. Vanilla cotton candy, lychee, sparkling champagne, orange blossoms, neroli, sandalwood, and amber. This is a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous fragrance. This is so good. Take that little piece of wax off my fingernail there. Oh, there you go. There we go. This is gorgeous. Oh, hot damn, is that good. This just smells like lychee. Lychee and orange blossom, amber. I get champagne. I get a little bit of the bubbles. Oh, is that good. So, I'll stop talking about music. Just because I don't know if how many of my viewers are actually fans of that type of music. I don't want to talk about something that isn't pleasant. But it's not bad. It's just, you know, Maynard's a lyricist that is on a different level. And a lot of people have asked him, what are your songs about, Maynard? And he said, it's about whatever you want it to be. You know, what does it mean to you? So, I mean, then there are some of his songs that definitely have a message. You know, like like Judith. Judith is a Perfect Circle song. Judith is about his mother, and he had a tough relationship with his mom. So Judith is about her, and just there's songs that definitely have specific meanings. But some of his more abstract work, it's whatever you want it to be, kind of a thing. So that's Anything But Basic, and Maynard is Anything But Basic. and we'll leave it at that. So, other than Vegas, we don't really have any big trips planned this year. I want to go back to see my dad this fall. You know, I did start a new job in the beginning of the year, and I have to build my PTO up, but I'm going to be able to use some here in the next week or so. Next one I'm going to chop up is I Heart Vanilla Pear. I Heart Vanilla Pear. I'm just moving some of these down here closer to me. I'm already at 50 minutes. Okay, not bad. I Heart Vanilla Pear. This is creamy vanilla marshmallow, vanilla milkshake, marshmallow and magnolias, which that is her boardwalk marshmallow clouds, blended with sweet pear and sugar nectar. This was from March 26th of this year. So this one here, I absolutely adore this one on cold. And I grabbed another tub of it ready to ship. So I have more coming. So I figured let's get this baby chopped up. This is such a beautiful pear. This is just, it's bright, it's rich, it's juicy. It's really like you're biting into a pear and the juice is running down your hand, and it's perfect. You know, it's like a peach that way. It's creamy, it's juicy, it's fruity, and blended with the boardwalk marshmallow clouds and the vanilla, it's rich, it's inviting, it's creamy. I can't wait to get this going. This is a perfect blend for now, for summertime. Yeah. We'll see how much of this I can get melted before the end of May. So my melting baskets, my empties videos in May, which I'm going to get back on track and do them every week or two, is going to be all Teddy Bees for the most part. You know, I'll have some other stuff in there too, but mostly Teddy Bees. So we have I Heart Vanilla Pear. Putting them over in my tote. They don't stack as easy as they did when they were nice and pretty and packaged like that. So, I did talk about in one of my videos, we were thinking of going to Egypt in 3 years. I don't know if we'll do it or not. I mean, that would be a trip of a lifetime, but we're thinking of doing it. The reason being is there's going to be a total solar eclipse there, and my husband wants to see one now. So, Egypt. I said you had to pick one of the most expensive places to go to, but we both would love to go to Egypt. This next one, the Dornishman's Wife. This is Palo Santo, blackberries, marshmallow fireside, and the slightest hint of lemon. This one is just a Palo Santo blackberry blend, which I haven't had any blackberry Palo Santo. I've never melted a blend like that. So it's juicy, it's fruity, it's got a hint of lemon to it, but this one also could be a fall blend, just because it's dark and it's more of a has a wintry fall vibe to it. But I'm going to warm this now because the wax doesn't know what time of year it is. So I might go to Egypt. I want to go back and see my dad. I didn't get to go last year because my aunt passed and all of that mess that is still being figured out back then. But I'm going to go and see what's happening back in PA. You know, I've lived in several states in my life. I was born in Pennsylvania. My dad being an engineer, and the discipline within engineering that he was required him to work on submarines. So we lived in South Carolina when I was a child, between 4 and 9, right? We were moving from South Carolina back to Pennsylvania when O.J. Simpson killed his wife. So June 1994. I was right, that whole catastrophe that he did happened right before my birthday. So I always remember that. Next one, key lime ice cream and cake. This is the best key limes in Florida, blended with the creamiest vanilla ice cream, toasty graham crackers, and a side of rich white cake and salty sea air. Man. So this lime one here, I talked about lime quite a bit yesterday when I did my Second and Spruce video. Because my husband, I'm trying to get him to find I'm not trying to get him to find. I'm trying to find a lime that he is accepting of, because I do like lime. Lime is it's such a good fragrance. It's bright and fruity. It'll cheer you right on up if you're having a bad day. And it just, you know, evokes feelings of happiness and brightness and cleanliness. And I just want to have lime in my home. I don't want to have to wait until he's out of town to melt it. And he can smell if I have warmed it in the house. That's why I say that. So this one here is creamy. It's creamy. It's ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and all the yumminess of the bakery and the creaminess of the cake with key lime juice. That's what it smells like to me. I've never made a key lime pie in my life. I have cooked and baked a lot of things in my life, but I've never made a key lime pie. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try. I think I will. It's time. So yeah, South Carolina, O.J. Simpson, June. What was I talking about with that? Man, trying to multitask here isn't the easiest, but I'm doing the best I can. There's that one. I'm going to chop some of my tubs up because I have a space over here in my tote that I want to sit my tubs in, and it's filling up. So the first one I want to chop up here, I'm hesitant to chop this one because I only have one of it, but I'm trying to not have that mentality. This is Mrs. Teddy Bear. Mrs. Teddy Bear, a blend of teddy bear biscuits, cherry pie filling, and whipped cream. I know teddy bear biscuits has beignets in it and powdered sugar with whipped cream, I think, but I don't remember what else is in that blend. But this cherry pie filling in here is, oh, it's some of the most authentic, stick your nose in a can of cherry pie filling that I've ever smelled in my life. I love this blend right here on cold. We'll have to see how it performs on warm, but just, oh, that cherry is just so strong. So how I chop my tubs up, same concept as my souffle. And I want to put it back in here. So thankfully, most of Tiffany's wax keeps its shape. So I'm just going to do this. Pick it up. Drop it back in. And same with its mate here. Okay. So far, so good. I can just smell this cherry pie filling now. It's just, oh, it's so good. I'll take a little piece here. That's a big boy right there. But, and that's a baby boy right there. That's okay. The ends are always a little bit chunkier. So, I'm going to take this. Well, I hope sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This has to sit down here flush. I'm performing wax surgery. Ba-dum-bum. Oh. Sometimes in life you have to be a goofball, because if not, you'll scream. And you'll scream too, regardless, but you gotta have fun. There we go. Just like that. And that's Mrs. Teddy Bear. Okay. That's my first tub. And he's in his home right now. Okay, fantastic. Next tub. Let's see what I have here. Do I have any more bakery? No. Boom Booms on the Beach. I got this in a D-stash, actually. This is apple-infused coconut water, tropical fruits, citrus, berries, tuberose, which is really strong floral, suntan lotion, and warmed driftwood, which is beaches of Nath or Nath, blended with creme de boom boom, which is the boom boom cream from Sol de Janeiro, which I love. So I got this because I've always wanted to try this one. It always goes fast in D-stashes, and I grabbed it. This was poured in June 12th of 23. So, this is, trying to release this out of here. Okay, this smells like, I can smell Boom Boom in here. But I just smell the fruitiness of the coconut water, the fruits, the berries, a little bit of floral, a little bit of suntan. This is going to be absolutely gorge in my home in the summer. I do have my last chop and chat, I did chop up some Teddy Bee stuff. I have Jon Snow upstairs. I have Oracle of Dusk. I have Spiced Acorn. I have, what's the other one? Basic Witch. And I have one more tub up there I'm working on that I'm going to be warming along with this bunch. And then I also have some souffles I'm finishing up of the North. And I'm finishing up Petrichor. And I'm finishing up Midnight Rosewood. And there's one more bag up there. I can't remember right now. But I really could chop this guy down a little bit more, but I'll just leave it like this, you know. This is going to be a strong scent. Ah, it went down in there for me. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. 2 down, 3 to go. Clean up my chopping board here. Rain and Woods. This is from Tiffany first did her tubs before she put the lids on. This is June 4th of 22. This is crunchy leaves, wet flowers, clove, balsam, patchouli, and sandalwood. This is very, I love this scent. I believe this one was in the last pre-order. This smells like Irish Spring soap to me. That's the best way to describe this one. This might even be Irish Spring soap. I don't remember. But this is just, it's clean. It's fresh. It has a soapy vibe to it, like I said, to my nose. It's got a little bit of patchouli and sandalwood in it. Oh, I love this. So what I might do, because I have that bag, I'm just going to put this down in here and just get rid of the tub, because just for stacking purposes. Oh yeah, we'll cut that down. Okay. Rain and Woods. I've warmed a couple souffles of this before. I have thoroughly enjoyed this blend. This is great for a day where it's kind of rainy outside, or the segue from late summer into fall where it's a little damp and you have the leaves that are starting to die. That's good there. You know, that little bit of dampness, especially if you live in a climate that has more humidity and moisture, the South, or where I'm from in the East, or, you know, going down the East Coast, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, all that stuff. So we have that beautiful in this bag here. Have some shards. What I could do is I could purchase some of these big bags and just, as I chop my tubs, just put them in this bag. I might do that. We'll see. I'm trying to buy bags when I remember to. But let's see. Which tub do I want to do next? I think I might put these in the garbage now. Excuse me. Okay, next let's do a perfect storm. A perfect storm. This is sea spray, ocean spray, sea spray, ocean water, citrus, damp leaves, dark amber, and oak moss. 10/20/22. 10/20/22. Holy hell! I thought this was from last pre-order. 10/20/22. Okay. I thought this was from last pre-order, but maybe it wasn't. I swore it was, though. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. This one is so good. This is probably one of my favorite fresh blends I've ever smelled. Because it really, it smells so good. It is just... the water, the dampness, just it's like it's cleansing. It's very cleansing when you smell this. It's got a little bit of sexiness to it with the oak moss. It's man, it's tough to describe. It really is, but it's very clean. It's oceanic, but it's not so severely salty where it's off-putting. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it too. Man, I don't know why I changed my voice, but sorry, I bumped that with my head. I didn't mean to. Physics, I guess. Okay, let's chop this down. I know this was poured last year. That 22 is an error. Maybe that's the last time it was offered and Tiffany just forgot to change her date. That might be what happened. Because Tiffany said last year the texture of her wax was a little bit harder just because of different variables. And this one is a little bit more crumbly than some of the ones I've chopped up here today. So I believe this one is from last year. I know it is because I never owned this scent before last year. So that's okay. No prob, Bob. Lots of glitter on this one, too. I don't like glitter in my warmers, but I just have to get a Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol and get those little turds out of my warmers. They're little turds to me. But I also don't stop buying a vendor because they use glitter. It just drives me crazy, that's all. Some of you might not approve of me doing this, pushing it down in here, but what I do to get a piece out of here when I want to use it. This is definitely a more crumbly texture. I turn it upside down. I don't want to do it right now. Let me put the lid on first. I turn it upside down and take my pieces from the bottom versus trying to get it under my fingernails, which happens and I hate it. But that's how I get my tubs out. So if I post pictures in the group of tubs and I talk about it and it looks like I haven't used it, I have. It's just on the bottom. So the tub I'm going to use up next, I think, is Jon Snow. I have 5 or 6 pieces, which honestly I have upstairs. I have a couple other vendors upstairs. I have zucchini bread and Mrs. Claus's cookies from L3 in my master bedroom and bath, and then over in my office, which I don't always have my warmer in my office on the weekends, but because sometimes I give it a break on the weekends. I have one of my L3 customs. I called, what did I call that one? I don't remember. Let me get my tissue here and try to get that. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, last tub is Emma of Normandy. Love this blend. This is dark berries, sensual orchid blooms, and warm vanilla. This is extremely strong, extremely powerful, extremely beautiful. Extreme. Okay. Excuse me. I didn't get any water before I started here. This was poured back on March 16th of last year. Okay, this is so gorgeous. It's strong. It's got the orchid blooms. It has, is there plum in this? I don't remember. I just read this. Berries, blooms, orchid, vanilla. This is gorgeous. This is right up there with plum and peppercorns. Princess Katya, which I was going to chop up, but I have that for next time. Princess Katya was just from this last pre-order. We have a couple of other plum ones that are sisters of this blend right here. So we're going to go ahead and put that down in there like that. See how that wasn't as crumbly as last time? That's how I know that one was from last year. It's time to do a residue wipe because Tiffany's wax is very soft, so it does leave a residue to your fingers if you're new to Teddy Bees. Second and Spruce is like that too. I feel Second and Spruce is a little bit more creamy residue. I don't want to call it oily, but it is oily, I guess, to your hands when you're chopping it up here. This is my wax only chopping board. I don't put food on this at all. Okay, I have a loaf, but I'll do that last. Next, the Riverlands. I'm at an hour, 9 minutes. The Riverlands. Palo Santo, cool mountain air, balsam, patchouli, crisp melon, cedar, crunchy leaves, and sandalwood. June 26th of last year. Sorry, I realized I was holding that down there. When I'm looking actually down here. I'm not looking through my camera, so excuse me for any of that stuff. This is Breath of God and Palo Santo. Confirmed by Tiffany because I asked her. I said, I've smelled this before. Is this Breath of God? And she said, yes, with Palo Santo. So, Breath of God, not a lot of vendors have it. GG Scented Adventures or A Scented Adventure has Breath of God. I love it. Breath of God is a Lush dupe. I absolutely adore it. It's so strong. So the Riverlands, I believe, is a Game of Thrones reference. This is so good. It's cool, it's clean, it's not cologne, but it's a little bit masculine. It smells like a freshly showered man. That's how I described this when I was talking about these in my haul videos. A freshly showered man. We'll leave it at that. Okay. I think in June, I'm trying to decide, I want to see how much of this vendor I get warmed, how much of my tote I get through. Because if I concentrate just on this, I feel confident I can get through the vast majority of this between my upstairs and downstairs. I might be overshooting, but I think I can. So in June, I'm trying to decide what I should do next. I'm trying to think of the vendor that I have the next most amount of. I'm not counting Sassy Girl because I'm not melting a lot of her stuff right now just because of the situation. That might change. Who knows? The next one I want to chop up here is Snow Cones by the Sea. Let's vote this one back, guys, because this is such a fantastic summer blend. This is watermelon, black cherry, apple, and salty sea air. I might even have L3 make this in my next batch of customs, you know, the same notes, of course. Watermelon, cherry, apple, and salty sea air. This is such a fantastic fruity pop with that beautiful bit of salt in the background. I absolutely love this decoration here. And I love this blend. This is so damn good. Ah, look at that there. You're getting a beautiful marriage, because it is a marriage, because it all blends into one, of watermelon, cherry, apple. You're getting a little bit of salty from that salty sea air. This is phenomenal. I should have bought a loaf in this. This is fantastic. I know Charity likes this blend a lot. We've talked about it. We've talked about it before. Maybe I'll melt this one first and post and see if we can get some attention and love for this one to get Tiffany to put it on the list. Even though the pre-order won't ship until the middle of summer, we still have bomb pops and cherry and lime and all that goodness in the end of summer too. I love bomb pops, by the way. When I was a kid, my dad was a smoker. And I would go, when I was a kid in South Carolina, specifically, these are the memories I remember from there. I mean, I have a lot of memories there, like the time I spray painted my dad's truck with pink Halloween hairspray that you can color your hair with that washes out pink. Yeah, I went for it. I did that stuff. But next one, let's do Tiffany's favorite bakery. We haven't done a bakery one for a minute. This is blackberry jam, vanilla shortbread cookies, brown sugar, and waffle cone. This is from September 29th of last year. So this one here is blackberry jam butter cookie to the max, baby. I can smell that in here. Even though she doesn't have it listed as that, it takes on that same vibe, but it's got a little bit more sweetness to it because it has that brown sugar and waffle cone. But I'm excited to warm this. I have never had Tiff's favorite bakery before. This is my first experience. Hope it's not my last. So one of my memories as a kid was I would go with my dad to the gas station on the weekends, you know, in the summertime, especially when I wasn't in school, I would play outside. I had a dog, my golden retriever named Amber, and I would be out with my dad. I'd go on the tractor with him and, you know, just out of the house, leave my mom alone and to spend time with my dad. And I would go with him to the gas station to get cigarettes or gas or whatever. Most of the time it was cigarettes, but they had these huge, they were probably about this fat. This is in the 90s, before they took all the bad stuff out of food. This about this big and about that wide, monster thick, of the Banana Fudge Bomb Pops by Popsicle brand. Or maybe it was Good Humor, but I've tried to look at the packaging up on Google and I can't find it, but I haven't had a Banana Fudge Pop in years. But guess what I saw at Walmart last week? I saw the Bomb Pop Banana Fudge, and I about screamed because I said, holy shit, I haven't had one of these since I was a kid. So it took me right back to those days when I would go with my dad to the gas station in South Carolina. I miss South Carolina. I wish we didn't move away from there, but my parents made the decision to move. Let's do Tiff's favorite birthday cake, milk, cookies, and zucchini bread. So this one is Tiff's favorite lavender, which I believe is lavender and coconut milk, blended with white cake and buttercream, layered with our milk and cookies, blended with zucchini bread. Lots going on in this baby. This is October 29th of 22. So, so good. This one, she says it's layered, so I'm going to chop this one a little bit differently here. Come on, baby. There we go. Chop this one a little bit differently. I don't like to do this because I like to chop my teddy bees a little bit differently, just because of how it performs in my home. And you might see how I chop it and think, Ashley's nuts, she's chopping it like that. But that's what works in my home. I did a lot of trial and error back when I was new to teddy bees, and it's what works in my life. So I'm chopping this down like most of you probably chop your souffles down. But a lot of times when it's layered, it splits in the middle like this one did. Just because of the chemistry. I want to have it so I can get a piece of each, because this is layered. It's meant to be warmed together. So that's why I chopped this one down like this. It's going to break when it goes in the bag, but I just remember when I pick up a piece to get a piece of green and a piece of purple. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. So the reason why we moved away from South Carolina is my dad worked at the same company his whole entire career. And my dad worked at the shipyard in Charleston, South Carolina, and it closed. So my dad had to decide whether to change departments. It's more complicated than that, but there's a lot of things about his job he could never talk about, kind of a thing. And sorry, I'm just wiping my nose. He had to either change departments, or we had to move back to Pennsylvania where he could continue in the same department that he was in. So, having all of both sides of my family living in Pennsylvania, we moved back. So that's why I was not a Southern belle for most of my life. But I love South Carolina so much. Pink zucchini cake pops. This is zucchini bread, waffle cake pops, strawberry cake, and pink sugar frosting. I have warmed this before, and it is so stinking creamy, delicious, strawberry frosting, fattening wonderfulness. Oh, man. Okay, this is October 30th of 22. I have only a handful more of these old souffles in my collection, so I feel confident that I'm using these within 2 years, because I started shopping with Tiffany in 2022. So even though I had some of wax that was given to me from Jenny, Just Jenny, she has a channel if you haven't checked her out, Just Jenny. She sent me some teddy bees from 2021. I just finished up a little bit of it last week, and it's still kicking. So Tiffany's wax has a long shelf life. I'm going to chop this up here like that, because this is strong. It's creamy. It's got that delicious, delicious frosting note. And I don't, this does say pink sugar frosting, but I don't get pink sugar in this because that strawberry just takes over and it's creamy. It's got that zucchini bread vibe to it, a creamy zucchini bread. Tiffany does not have a spicy zucchini bread at all. It's very creamy. So that's that one. Next, let's keep with the bakery. Let's do hot pie. Hot pie. This is Palo Santo, sugared donuts, hint of chai, and a dash of pink chiffon. This one, I had 2 of these. This one smells like chai and pink chiffon to me. This one was offered in the last pre-order. I didn't buy any more because I knew I had this this souffle, and I was trying to try some new stuff, honestly. That's why I didn't buy any more. But this one is a well-loved one. When I sniff the tin, what I'm getting in this is I'm getting chai, a little bit of donut, and pink chiffon. Pink chiffon is a beautiful fragrance too. That's Bath and Body Works, I believe. So I have been warming some candles in my candle crock. I have an empties video to do. And I was deciding, I thought I was going to do it today, but you know, this is just something I'm transparent about on my channel. I do have trichotillomania, and you know, on my videos, you can see my bald spot, and I've embraced it. I love myself despite it. It's part of me. It's part of my battle scar. It's part of my character, and I have had it for almost 31 years. And sometimes if I don't wash my hair, or if I wash my hair and I don't put product in it and style it, it's way worse than it already is on my channel, and I just don't feel like exposing it like that. And I don't want to wear a hat on my channel because I'm swimming in it. So that's just, I didn't do my empties video today. And then I was thinking about what can I do, because I'm way behind with filming. I need to do my, I've got so much stuff I need to film, guys. I just, you know, I've chose to have a good balance of fun in my life and peace in my life. And I had a mental, emotional breakdown last year, and I stepped back from my channel, and I'm just trying to, I do my channel at my pace, and I know there are other channels out there that have content every day and things, but I love making these videos, and this is such a spot of joy in my life, and I want to just, you know, feel the most confident sitting down in front of you guys and talking about wax. So when my husband told me he was golfing today, I thought, yes, I'll chop up my teddy bees, because I was trying to figure out when in the heck am I going to have time to chop up my teddy bees before May 1st, because I wanted to get melting on these guys. So must have been kismet, because here we are. Milk and cookies and beach treats. We're getting into some of the older ones now. This is creamy vanilla, powdered sugar, sweet milk, that's a new name, sweet milk, buttery cookie dough, and poured on July 8th of 22. This one is fantastic. I have had milk and cookies so many times. I freaking love milk and cookies. It is such a simple blend, but it's so heavy and creamy and buttercreamy, and just, man, it's a sexy bakery blend. It's so good. So this one, Beach Treats, is Tiffany's version of Beach Nights, of course. I've chopped up a couple Beach Treats blends here, but I have failed to say that. I'm sorry. Most of you watching this have probably warmed Teddy B, so if you are a Beach Nights fan, you've probably grabbed one of her blends. I feel confident in saying that. This here is just a beautiful combination. It kind of is similar to, man, I'm really hesitant to say this because it's not the same, but it's a distant cousin, this blend is, of Surfside Sweet Shop. Because Surfside Sweet Shop, which I have right here, has Beach Nights in it, and it has cake in it, and it has all sorts of fattening yumminess in it. It's just a different base of cake, whereas Milk and Cookies is the a little bit of a different bakery. Do you know what I mean by that? I think you guys know what I mean. Let's do Surfside Sweet Shop. This is from my very first purchase from Tiffany. This is July 1st or 2nd purchase, I think. This is from July 11th, 22. This I bought 2 souffles of this. This is my second order because I started shopping with Tiffany in winter of 22. So this would be the second pre-order. I warmed one and I've been hoarding this whole time. So now I have a couple more souffles, so I feel confident using this. Plus, it's probably going to come back next time because it's offered just about every pre-order in some form. This is birthday cake, marshmallow cream, butter cookies, cake batter, and beach treats. So this is another delicious, fattening, yummy, glorious, beautiful blue Beach Nights Bakery. So, I know this one is so loved. We'll do it like that. It's so loved by a lot of you guys. This is strong. It's creamy. It's rich. It's sexy, like I said. Just like Milk and Cookies and Beach Nights. So damn good. So damn good. I love this. I can't wait to warm this. This might even be the first one I grab. I love this. It's such a good blend. Next, let's see what bakery I have left here. These are the last 2 bakeries. Milk, cookies, and zucchini bread. So this is milk and cookies with warm zucchini bread. So this one is similar to the one we just had before. The only addition was Tiffany's favorite birthday cake along with this. So let me get my paper towel here. When I had my camera back, I don't want to touch it right now because my hands are greasy. If you saw my little bottle of Southern Comfort, I bought a bottle of Dr. Pepper creamy coconut, and oh my god, is that so good. I hope they make it a permanent flavor. It's so good. So I wanted to try a little bit of SoCo in it, but I forgot to put the rest of the SoCo in the bottle and then the glass I had, so I forgot to drink it. So I'll just sip on that. I'll sip on that tonight. So if you happen to see that earlier, that's why it's just randomly hanging out on my kitchen counter. So they don't sell little bottles. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't go in the liquor store very much because I have a lot of wine that when my husband went to Nevada a couple of months ago, March he went, he brought me back my bottles of wine that I only sell in Nevada, my Stella Rosa. They sell Stella Rosa here, but they don't sell my favorite flavor, which is the pink here. So I don't go in the liquor store very much here. So I know that they never sold little bottles here in Utah, but they recently started to. I just don't know what though. So that I got that when I was in Vegas. That's SoCo. I actually had it in my pantry and I forgot I had it in there. I'm like, oh man, I have that in a little bottle of tequila rose in there. So tequila rose is strawberry. Okay. Okay. Getting down to the bottom here, I promise, guys. This is a long video. Long video. Okay. Weekend with Papa. This is Salty Sierra, Vanilla Bean Noel. Sorry, that glitter will drive me nuts on my finger now. Salty Sierra, Vanilla Bean Noel, toasted marshmallows, which is Sadie, her blend Sadie, blended with roasted pine cones. I'm in love with roasted pine cones. Such a good oil. So versatile. Blends beautifully. It's my favorite version of pine. I do not like a lot of heavy pine. I used to in my early days of my youth and such, but not anymore. I like pine cones because it's creamy, it's woodsy, and it has a little bit of pine to it, but it's less potent. So Weekend with Papa was on the last pre-order list too, but I didn't buy any more. This is from 2022. Sometimes if I have a souffle of it in my collection, I won't buy any more unless I know that it's it's something that I've enjoyed, or something that's super strong. A lot of times, I mean, you can see I've got a shit ton of Teddy Bees, and this is not even all of that I have. I've got a lot. I have been very stingy with warming my Teddy Bees. I lied. I have one more bakery. This is, which is be crazy for blueberries. So this is birthday cake, pecan waffles, sugar cookie dough, cinnamon spiced vanilla with blueberry. This is fantastic. This is probably my third time warming this. I bought this in a loaf. I have this in a tub. I have this in another souffle. So I love this blend. It's so good. There we go. Let's chop this up. This is creamy, rich blueberry cake. I was debating, I have blueberry dump cake also. I was debating on chopping that up, but then I saw this one. I thought, you know, this one is in the old souffle. Let's get this one cooking. So here we are. There we go. Okay. Poppy's over on her blankie sleeping. My baby. If I have to board her, it's the first time I've ever had to board her. She's going to think, what the hell did my mom do to me? My poor baby. She's so spoiled. She's my baby, though. I'm not going to have children, so I'm a fur mom. I was a mom to my dog. Well, sorry, I bumped that again. What am I going to do next? What am I going to, let me see here. I got to pick up a piece of wax that fell on the floor. Sorry, guys. If I don't do that, I don't want Poppy to eat it, so safety first. Let's go ahead and get some of this garbage out of here. When I met my husband, he had a dog named Echo. She's a black lab. She was I don't want to call her mentally ill or challenged. She wasn't. She is a special needs dog. I shouldn't say mentally ill. That's not true. She's special needs dog. Let's chop up a perfect holiday next. This is fresh cut pine, cinnamon sugar, and toasted marshmallows. This is October 1st of 22. This is her take on Perfect Christmas from Bath & Body Works. So Echo was special needs because she could not handle any other animal whatsoever. She wanted to attack it and eat it, which she was afraid of them. But why I say she has special needs is because trying to take her anywhere, you couldn't do it. So taking her outside to go to the bathroom, taking her to the vet, it was an ordeal because we don't want anybody to get hurt. Any people, any other animal, any of that stuff. This smells fantastic. This is almost a perfect Christmas. But it's 97%, I would say. Perfect Christmas is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Christmas blends from Bath & Body Works. Man, is that good. This is the only one I have of this too, so be proud of me. My favorite Christmas blend at Tiffany's is Old School Christmas, but this is the second one. So Echo was Marty's dog. My husband was in an accident, and Echo saved him in a lot of ways from it. So when I met my husband, Echo, she accepted me. She took me, she let me in very early on. And fun fact about me, I'm allergic to dogs. I'm allergic to cats. But I grew up with dogs. My dad would, he participated in something called field trials when he was younger, meaning you have a hunter on a horse and you have a bird dog that goes and finds a quail or a pheasant, whatever you're hunting, and points, and then the hunter goes, shoots it, and you get your kill. Next one I'm going to do is Three-Eyed Raven. This is Palo Santo, Sweet Lavender, Vanilla Birch, and Marshmallow Fireside with Cold Air. This is July 11th to 22. So, this one here. This one is definitely, I think, I shouldn't say definitely, I think it's a Game of Thrones one. This is, I'm smelling mostly Marshmallow Fireside, Vanilla Birch, and Palo Santo. This is one I would traditionally warm in the fall, but I'm going to get this one going because it's aging. So my dad had bird dogs. when I was born, my parents had a poodle. I vaguely remember her. My first memories were around 3 years old. And I vaguely remember her because she died when I was about 4 years old. She was a poodle. Her name was Cherie. But my mom and dad always had dogs. So I loved dogs. So when I met my husband and met Echo, Echo let me in very quickly because, you know, she knew I was a good person and a friend, an animal friend. So Echo, I loved like she was my own. And actually, a couple of days ago was the 7th anniversary of her passing. She had spleen and liver cancer. Next one I'm going to do here is London Fog. This is Earl Grey tea, lavender milk, and a hint of boardwalk marshmallow clouds. This was poured on July 11th of last year. I absolutely love lavender blends. I'm thinking about doing a lavender video on my channel of just showcasing all of my lavender blends. It's going to take a little bit to get that together because I just organized my upstairs and I have different things in different places. And I don't want to actually go through all that stuff again right now, so I might have that on later this summer, you know, once I go through some stuff again here upstairs. I've got to get my downstairs organized and under control. I am destashing a good bit of stuff, and I want to do it all at one time. So I've got to get that done this week when my husband's gone, just because, you know, trying to do stuff in the evening time, it doesn't always work out. When Echo passed 7 years ago, we'll have it'll be 4 years in September that we've had Poppy. Poppy will be 4 in June. So I've always had an animal in my life, and when I met Poppy in the Atlanta airport, so I found Poppy from a Russian blue breeder in Alabama, and this lady's been doing nothing but Russian blues for 25, 30 years. And she's very, very well respected in the Russian blue community all throughout the world. So at the time that we've got Poppy, it was COVID. Next one I'm going to do is Lost in the Orange Grove. This is lemongrass, basil leaf, rosemary, clementines, orange peel, and ambrette. This is very heavy lemongrass and citrus. Very much so. So, very heavy lemongrass. It's good though. You have to like lemongrass. Lemongrass is kind of astringent and very citrusy. That's why it goes beautiful with the other citrus that's in here. So, when I flew to, so Delta, I don't know if they ship animals right now, if they brought that back, or if you have to go and if you have to check them, you know, as your personal item, not your personal item, but your carry-on item in your in the main cabin. I had to go get Poppy in Atlanta, and at the time, where she was in Alabama, the closest major airport was Atlanta. So they would shuttle the animals, the cats, I shouldn't say animals, they're all cats, the cats being adopted up to Atlanta. So when I flew there and I got Poppy, the morning that, so I flew and I got Poppy, and I flew back the same day. So what I did basically, I landed in Atlanta, went out of security, met her husband in the exchange area. I didn't even leave the airport. And I went right back in through security and got on a plane and went back home. Same day. Long day. But when my husband was taking me to the airport, next one I'm going to do is Evangeline. This one is very unique and floral and beautiful, and I got a tub of it. If you got a tub of it and they're ready to ship, you're in for something good because this is very unique. So when Marty was taking me to the airport, I said to him, hey, are we doing the right thing? You know, I don't know if I'm going to like a cat. Is this a mistake? And my husband said, this is so good. This is most mossy oak trees, wild poppies. Oh, I'm talking about Poppy, and there's Poppy. Oh, my heart. Citrus, sandalwood, southern breezes, and warm amber. Poured on March 6th of last year. So I said, And were we doing the right thing? Because I was hesitant to let a cat in my life because I never liked cats. I think it's because I wasn't ever allowed to have cats, so I just put it in my head that cats were bad. So my husband said, you know, several months before we decided to get Poppy, there was a cat that lived somewhere in our neighborhood. And the cat would be let out at night, and the cat would always come to our house. And if we would be outside or something, the cat would take to me. The cat would just meow at me and rub on me. And my husband said, that cat likes you, Ashley. I said, I know, but I don't like it. So I haven't seen that cat in several years. I hope it's okay, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but maybe I'll tell you what I'm saying. So my husband's father passed away 20 some years ago, and he was not into cats until my husband brought home a cat, a stray cat, and then my father-in-law fell in love with the cat. So Marty said to me in the car going to the airport, you're going to be like my dad, and that cat's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. And by damn, that man was right. So next one I want to do is beach blanket. I'm almost at the end here, guys. Beach blanket. This is the scent of cotton sheets, ocean air, and fresh coconut. March 23rd, 23. I only have this. I know this one was really popular this last time, but this is a very strong blend. It's very coconut laundry, and it's beautiful. I'm probably kicking myself for not buying any more of this, but you know what? I'll just enjoy it and savor the memories. So, long story short, I got Poppy in her little carrier. Like, we exchanged. I brought my own carrier, and he put her in the carrier. And I looked at her, and I just said, she's mine. She's mine. That's my baby right there. And of course, Poppy is so timid and shy and shaken. And then when I started walking with her in her carrier through security, she's screaming the whole time. If you have a cat, you know what a cat scream is. Just screaming. And I had to hold her when I went through the metal detectors at the airport. Next one here is Springtime in Montana. This is crisp cotton, lavender, white peach, and vanilla balsam. This is also known as summer linen. Summer linen, single oil. This is one of my favorite laundry blends ever. This is so damn good. So, screaming the whole time through the metal detector. I had to hold her. She scratched up my arm. What else is new? She does it all the time to me now. And then got through security, put her back in her carrier, and I had several hours until my next flight. Because remember, I flew out here at like 6:30 in the morning, got to Atlanta, and I had to wait for a flight that would work with my timing and stuff there. So we went to a restaurant, and I said, I have a cat in a carrier. I'm not going to take her out. She's a baby kitten. You know, am I allowed in here? And they said, yes, absolutely. So they brought a little bit of water for Poppy. But, you know, when cats are stressed out, they don't eat or drink for a while, and they don't go to the bathroom. They hold themselves. So Poppy didn't drink water, but we just sat there, and I talked to her, and I was pretty sure that I was going to name, I shouldn't say we were going to name her Poppy, but Mama names everything, so Mama decided on Poppy. Poppy's real name is Penelope Isla. So the last thing I'm going to chop up here is a loaf, and then this video is done. This is a loaf of Escobar. And I found this. I found this not that long ago. I thought I had a loaf of this, and I couldn't find it because someone asked for it in a beach stash, and I thought I have a loaf of it, and if I can find it, I'll sell it to you. But that was several months back. And then I found this when I was organizing stuff last week underneath something that I didn't realize had wax underneath it, and that was my loaf. So I only have a few loaves of Teddy B stuff, and I figure this is my oldest loaf. Let's give it some life. So this is Escobar. This is Beach Treats and Palo Santo. That's all it is. So this was also in the last pre-order. This was poured on March 10th of 22. So I talked to Poppy, and I knew I was going to most likely call her Poppy. So I started how am I going to chop this one up? I started just talking to her and letting her know getting her to know my voice, just talking to her, saying her name. And, just like you do when you get a new animal, you're just trying to get them to get used to your voice. So she was shaken and, then eventually calmed down and, just realized that, hey, this, let me see here. Yeah, I'll keep that there. That's good. This is a little small piece in the middle here, but that'll be okay. This lady's okay. So got on the plane and should I leave that like that? Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. Hell, what the hell? So thinking about Poppy and the first time I met her. So we got on the plane and then luckily there was nobody in the middle seats. It was just a gentleman with a window and I was in the aisle. I used to sit by the window, but now I sit on the aisle. I don't want to deal with people like that. So I sit on the aisle and I told him, I said, I have a baby kitten in this carrier. Is it okay if I take her out and hold her? Because, some people are weird with that shit. So I'm a respectful person. If it was going to upset him, I wouldn't do it. I would just kind of be discreet with it. So he said, no, that's fine. Big scary airplane. So she purred. I could feel the little vibration in her little tummy. Poppy was 3.5 pounds when I got her. She's so tiny. And long story short, Poppy has changed my life. I prefer cats over dogs. And I know that Poppy is my cat because just the level of bond I have with her and just how she knows me. She knows if I'm having a bad day. She knows if I'm not feeling good. Just, our animals know. And I believe that animals were domesticated for a reason, and they were domesticated so we could have something in our life that understands us on that innate level. I hope that makes sense. So the end of that story is the end of this chop and chat. This is a big one, guys. So this is just the tip of the iceberg of my Teddy Bees collection. I could probably be here another 5 hours if I chopped up everything I had. So just going to tidy up here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Teddy Bees exclusive version of my chop and chat. And I'll be back in June for another version and we'll see what I can